Hello, everyone at Milford School in Massachusetts, the US of A. My name's Alistair Humphreys. I'm an adventurer chatting to you today from my shed in England. Thank you very much for watching my movie, Into the Empty Quarter. Actually, you can see here, got my one of the license plates that I found on the way into Dubai, and up on the ceiling here is the movie poster. See if I can bend my webcam a bit. Nope, sorry, that's all you can see. The movie poster from when Into the Empty Quarter was shown at a film festival. So yeah, you watched the movie. I spent a bunch of weeks with my friend Leon walking through the empty quarter in the footsteps of the great explorer Wilfred Thesiger, walking from Salalah in Oman to Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. And you, or your teacher, Mr. Delisle, has sent me some questions which I'm going to answer now. And I haven't even looked at these questions, so they'll be a surprise to me as well, which is always the best way to do them. So, what was the hardest challenge you faced in the Rub al Khali? Rub al Khali is the Arabic words for the empty quarter desert. Hardest challenges. Water. Boom. If you haven't got a lot of water, you're going to struggle in a desert. Water, unfortunately, is massively heavy. So finding a way to get enough water through the desert is really hard. Another challenge for us was we crossed the desert by cart, as you know, rather than camel, as Wilfred Thesiger did. And unfortunately, our cart was absolutely useless, as you'll probably agree. I can say it was useless because I designed it. It was absolute rubbish. So trying to drag that cart through soft sand was really, really challenging as well. Question 2. If there was one place in the world you could travel you haven't been to yet, where would you go? Well, my simple answer would be Antarctica. That's the only continent I haven't been to, and I would love to go on an adventure there. But I think most people might say something like that. So when schools email me like this with questions, the first thing I always do is I look online to see where the school is. I look on Google, and I love doing that, just to see all these places in the world I've never been to. So I zoomed in on Milford, where you guys are, and I saw all around it all these different towns, place names that are all English place names from the original settlers who moved over from England to that part of America. And looking at all these place names made me think, wow, I know this town in England. I wonder what that one is like over in Massachusetts. So my answer to this would be that I just love going to anywhere that I've never been before. I find anywhere absolutely fascinating to visit. So why not pick Milford? I'd love to see what your town's like, Milford, Massachusetts, see what adventures you can have there. Yeah, anywhere in the world is exciting if you have an adventurous, curious spirit. Question 3, you said you have a love for adventure. Why do you think you love it so much? Well, maybe my last answer is part of that. I think a lot of adventure for me is about curiosity. I'd love to know what your town looks like. I'd love to know what's over the next hill there. I'd love to see what it's like in a desert that I've never been to before. How different is a desert compared to the green, wet, mild landscape that I live in? So I think curiosity for what a place is like is something to do with my love of adventure. And then another part would be a curiosity of how I can cope in different places. So adventure for me is also a really big thing to do with challenging myself, trying to do things that are new and difficult for me, and seeing how that makes me feel, how that makes me grow, stuff that I'm good at, stuff that I'm rubbish at. It's a real learning experience, learning about the world and learning about yourself. Question 4. What was the hardest mental challenge you had during the adventure? Oh, hardest challenge, being strapped to Leon McCarran for hours a day as we dragged our cart through the desert. His jokes are terrible. He stank after weeks in the desert, and I was doing all the hard work, towing that cart, slogging away while he was just lazily wandering along through the desert. I suspect if you ask Leon the same question, he might answer exactly the same things, but about me. So, serious question, hardest mental challenge. Well, actually, going on a difficult expedition in a remote place with somebody else is a difficult thing to do, to constantly... I mean, you're always tempted to get annoyed at someone at times like that. When you're finding things hard, it's easy to blame someone else. So remembering to be kind, remembering to be tolerant, remembering that they're having a hard time, and so give them a bit of slack. Those things are hard things to do on adventures. But I loved that adventure. I absolutely loved it. So it was hard, but I was just being out in an empty desert, and then a desert that turned out to be not as empty as we imagined, but full of really interesting characters, was just a brilliant experience. I really, really loved it. How did you not get sunburned? Yeah, I am the whitest man in Adventureland, and I get massively sunburnt. So for my entire life of adventuring, I've had to battle with not getting sunburnt. So the simple thing is I wear long sleeves and I wear long pants, and I did that for sunburn, but also because it was a Islamic part of the world. It's just a polite way to dress. I wore my big hat, which, as you could see in the film, was quite battered. I'd been wearing that for every adventure since I was 18. It was originally a cricket hat, which I used to play a lot of cricket at school. And then the final thing is I have a great sun cream. I need sponsors by these guys. It's called P20, and it's really sort of oily, but it doesn't wash off when you get sweaty. So I would just have a small bit of it. I'd put it on my hands, put it on my face, put it on my neck. The rest of my body was covered, and that was it. It doesn't wash off for the entire day, however hot it is. How do your friends and family feel about you going on adventures like this? Well, they're quite used to it now. They know that adventuring is a big part of me. But also, I mean, when I first started going on adventures, I'm sure my mum really worried. She worried about me going off to places that seemed dangerous. And as you saw in the film, I think what seems dangerous isn't often necessarily the case. We've seen on the news for years and years and years horror stories about Muslim terrorists and the dangers of the Islamic world and the dangers of the Middle East, and yet when you go there visiting, you find such incredible kindness and generosity and good welcomes, and we felt so incredibly welcome. Oman was one of the friendliest places I've ever been in my life. So I think gradually my friends and family have realised that the world isn't as dangerous a place as it seems on TV, and that actually it's a good, kind, caring place. But still, I'm doing potentially dangerous things in potentially wild landscapes. So I think over time they've just come to trust me that I am not reckless, and that I don't do things that are stupid. Well, they might be a bit daft, but I do them in a calculated way. I'm not taking risks with my life. I very much love being alive. And I think over time they've come to trust that I'm not doing really stupid things. Did you come across any wildlife or animals on your adventure? That's a good question. Not really is the simple answer, and I suppose that's because we were in an empty desert. There's not much that lives there. Most of the things that do live there come out at night when it's a bit cooler, so we didn't really see them. We saw camels, wild camels. That was pretty awesome, but no, it wasn't a great wildlife experience. Question 8, what adventures are you planning on doing next? Well, joy of joys, the wonderful world of COVID. So at the moment I'm not really planning adventures. In fact, I spent the whole of last year exploring where I live, exploring the one map that I live on. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. I don't know where I've put it in my messy shed, but you can get these fold-out hiking maps. I'm sure you have them of your town as well. It's about 20 kilometres by 20 kilometres, or 12 miles by 12 miles, the hiking map of the place that you live. And I just spent all of last year, and I'll carry on doing it this year, exploring the map that I live on, trying to find wildness and adventure and new experiences close to home. And that's been a brilliant experience to do. Maybe it's something you guys could do as well. Get your local map. Look for somewhere on there that you've never been before. Go there. You are being an explorer. At least as much as me wandering through the empty quarter desert 80 years after Wilfred Thesiger was there and it was truly empty. So there is wildness and adventure everywhere. That's the final question. Thank you very much for watching my film. Thank you for getting in touch. It's great to hear from you. And yeah, good luck with your own adventures. Oh, if I could do a plug, seeing as you've watched this movie of mine, if you look on YouTube, there's another shorter movie I've made called My Midsummer Morning about me playing the violin very badly through Spain. And if you think I looked like an idiot in the empty water desert, you'll definitely think I look like an idiot in Spain. But I hope it might give you some ideas about different ways to have adventures. Thanks very much. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.